Welcome to UX Patter Season 3, where I, Dushyant Kanungo, talk to the leaders in the design field about their journey and what inspires them to be the best. I also touch upon the aspects of the industry such as jobs, trends, and challenges, to name a few. This podcast is presented by Galaxy UX Studio and powered by Galaxy Weblinks, an Inc. 5000 company. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of the UX Painter podcast. I am Dushyant Kanungo, and today I have a very special guest on this podcast for you. Isaac Asimov said, self education is, I firmly believe, the only kind of education there is. And our guest reflects and practices that to the most. He's a self taught design expert specializing in UI and product design. With over 7 years of experience in the field, his core expertise in UI has sharpened his skills in creating intuitive and visually stunning UI that provides an elevated user experience. He is also a mentor to aspiring designers, helping them develop their skills and achieve their career goals. Please welcome our talented guest, the design lead in Galaxy Weblinks Inc., Mr. Praveen. And with that, I must say that he's the design strength and the creative strength of Galaxy UX Studio as well. So welcome, Praveen, to the show.
Hello, hi, Dushyant, and it was nice meeting with you in this podcast, and thanks for this warm welcome, actually.
And I must say, we are talking to designers worldwide. I think when we had this connect, when we met last, I think it was a great idea that, I thought that why not just showcase what we know and what we learn together on this podcast. So, Praveen, we know and we've been working professionally for the last many years now. And even I am not fully understand that how was your journey like. So can you just please tell us that what was the path you took to become such a designer extraordinaire and educate us?
Sure, and yep, and so the first thing is like I'm not from the design background, so I was like very rural area of my city, and like I studied like everybody. Like I didn't know like what to study, and my father chose I want to study this, like Bachelor of Computer Application. Then I studied that. Like I didn't know why I studied that 3 years in my college. Then there was some time that I had to take a decision whether I should go to a job because of my like some personal issues. And then I took this opportunity because my brother was also a designer. So I had a like initial mentorship from him that you can at least choose this path and start your career. Then I took that advice and started practicing myself. I didn't go to any schools or I didn't learn. And that was that time. There isn't any online platforms to go and learn it. So the only source that I had was YouTube. So I just took all the videos that people recorded and posted. So that was the time that even design was also evolving, and I started that as a practice. Like that, I took it like 6 months as a practitioner, and I will start applying for jobs because some issues. Then then only I got into job opportunities, and that was a product design company initially. Then there was my journey starts. Like now it's been 7 years that I started my career. It's been a pleasure that I become a designer. I don't know like what will happen if I had to choose this industry.
So what you're saying is that mentorship actually played a big role. Your brother was there, but how difficult was it to have that discipline and learn everything on your own? There could be best practices, the examples of who's who and the best designers out there. Do you think that somewhere on the line that you had the self-doubt that will I be able to make it? Or do you think that there was a time when you were troubled about that, whether or not it is the right choice?
Well, I like every time that I had self doubt on every day that I am I going in the right path or like because there isn't a proper mentor, right? Like even my brother also was a big designer at that time, and he didn't get a chance to teach me a lot. So I had to do a self doubt. Like every time I watch a video, then I do practice, and then I apply it on every design that I do practice. Then I post it on like Dribble. Then those community actually like gives like a lot of inputs like this is where you're struggling and this is where like you're doing a great job. So that was the struggle that I had. But otherwise, like mentorship should have been there. Like that's what I started become a mentor. So everybody don't need to go through this much of struggle in their initial times.
So what, I mean, we look at your designs and we feel like that we have finally hit the jackpot. As an agency, having a creative force like you, what are the things that you have done to refine the skills that you have? I mean, I know that there is always talent, there is no replacement of it, but there is always hard work and practice. So what is the key for you? What do you think that helped you most in becoming the designer that you are?
Obviously, that is the first thing is practice. I do practice a lot. Like even after my day job, I do practice from the 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock till midnight, and then I go to sleep that time. So usually, like I do practice a lot. Even if I have a job, then like I said, I always have a self doubt whether I'm doing it right or not. So the practice was first thing, and then consistency, obvious. If you lose a consistency, then you will not understand like how this design principle works, because trends are changing, right? Like nowadays, like you can see a lot of trends. If I am designing one design today, then tomorrow it will be gone. Like it will be outdated. So that's how this industry works now. And I like strictly I don't follow this design trend because it changes on every day. So I strongly work on consistency and practice. Then I do iterate a lot actually. Like I don't stuck with one design that I even I'm satisfied, then I don't stuck with that design. I go for like 2 or 3 or 4 iterations so that I can like compare it and post it online, like or like for a project wise also, to make the client satisfied, that I give them like 3 to 4 versions so that they don't really stuck with one design that even they don't like it, right?
But there is another filter when you're working, right? When you are there is art and then there is design. So in art, you are expressing what you want to do. And then comes the design where you are actually providing a solution for somebody else. So in that array, there is always going to be a filter somewhere in the middle. Either it's a manager in your own organization or manager, which is at the client end, somebody who is not the owner of everything, but basically they are the ones who are the filters, and they would say they like the design, they didn't like the design. So how do you cope up with that, and how those challenges affect in the overall attitude or the motivation that you have towards design?
Basically, like sometimes you won't get exact the mentor or the manager that you are expect, right? You are the good manager that I can say it. But
So just people who don't know, I mean, me and Praveen, we work very closely. And I think with this question, I have put him on the spot. But I really wanted to know this. I mean, from the beginning, that how does it go? Like, I mean, we lock horns many, many, many times. And well, Praveen wins most of the times. But then this is how, things would turn out. So yeah, Praveen, please continue.
yeah, so like to answer the question, that most of the time you won't get the exact design manager, right? So like I said, I give them with a lot of inputs. Okay, this is what is going to work in terms of visual or in terms of experience wise, because like people might think like giving a visual will done with the product, but the experience comes and play a big role in that, because if you don't know how things are working, then you can't even touch even create a button, like how to create a button like without proper experience. So like I do that in my practice and give this all this inputs to the managers, and they'll say, yeah, this will work, and they'll get confused and okay, give me a minute, and I'll come back and give them the another design that they forget all the designs and they choose the new design. So that's how I like that kind of a trick to the all the managers, and like even that works for clients.
And while you're doing it, you're not just actually tackling one problem at a time. I mean, you have a team of people who are working for you. You're working on multiple projects together. Multi-threading becomes a big part. And then comes the point that every design has to be unique. So how do you go about juggling not just the design ideas, but requirements and projects and clients and teams? I mean, it's a long journey that you have taken in a short time. I think it takes people about a decade and over to get to a position where they are actually juggling with all those things together. So what is the differentiator between while you were working on your own directly and now with the team and multiple projects?
So for example, like while working alone, like you will not get a lot of inputs. Like your only mind is your, your teacher and your mentor. So what I decide, that goes with me. So, but then it connects with the team actually. Like they'll give you a lot of surprises. You can't even think of, okay, this there is a possibility. Okay, you can do this. Like I've seen so many of my juniors and like my senior designers, they came up with a lot of good, interesting designs that actually works, and that actually impressed me a lot. And like then where only I like trust my designers. And so like if like sometimes I was expecting to somebody give me a space, right, to design it at least. So that's what I was giving them. So I don't go and disturb them. Like I just give an opportunity. This is your project, this is your design, give me your best. So they'll come up with like, they'll struggle initially, but with a simple guidance, like, okay, this is where you are struggling, and go and change this. And they'll come up with the better solution that I wasn't think about it. So yeah, that's how the collaboration was changed a lot as an individual. Perspective change, like thinking perspective or design perspective, everything was changed when I started leading actually.
All right. I mean, with that, I will take you to the rapid fire round. And Praveen, here there are things that I always have this random question that I ask everyone, and then it's your turn now. And hope that you are ready for it.
Yeah, born ready. Yes.
If you won $10 million tomorrow, what would be the first thing that you're going to buy?
Oh, that is an interesting question actually. um, like I wouldn't probably take for myself. Maybe I'll give it to the people who struggle, maybe like my circle, or people who don't know, who actually like struggling with the day-to-day life of bread and butter. So yeah, that probably what I'll do.
All right. Very charitable of you. Next one. Are you into sunrises or sunsets?
Actually, I'm a rainy person. Not sunrises or sunset. Actually, like if I actually don't wake up early, and even like I don't go sleep early too. So I'm a rainy person. If whereas rainy started, then I start my car and go for a ride.
Oh, nice. But then you are in Chennai, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world out there, and you have the beach. I think it's the largest beach in India, the second largest one in
Yeah, Marina.
Chennai. And
Yeah,
you get like the best sunrises out there in the world.
that
So
is true. Actually, yeah. So like beach is like behind my backyard. So I live in this apartment, and if I go to my balcony, I can see all the beaches and all the
man,
yeah.
I'm going to come and stay there for a few days.
You're welcome. Actually,
I'm
yeah,
a beach person myself. All
yeah.
right. Okay. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Oh, I was quite thinking like this is like everybody's childhood, thing, right? So I would probably go as an invisible person.
Invisible. That's creepy.
Yeah. Because like you can just hide it, like you don't want to stay with your problems, like you can just go and hide it. So
No,
that
no.
is one thing. And like that was something, but I always wanted to be a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where in Chennai? Do you, I mean, yeah, maybe with the tall buildings possible, but you get stuck in the power lines.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So that's
So I
only
can probably move to another city, maybe Mumbai, or like
New
where
York.
the tall buildings.
Okay, I want to have the power with the movie Jumper. You can just think about a place and just show up there. And yeah, I could be that beach in Chennai, right?
Like a teleporter.
Yeah. Teleportation that you can just have
Nice.
your breakfast or by the beach and dinner maybe on the Eiffel Tower. I don't know, but that's something that I.
That is a good power actually.
All right. So next one, books or movies?
Movies, obviously. I'm not a book person. Like I didn't even uh, read a one book. Like I just bought one book called Ikigai, and I haven't crossed like 16 pages yet.
Really?
Yes,
Yes, a
I'm really
disciplined
not
book,
a
but
big.
you don't have discipline to read the book on discipline.
Yeah, because like most of my career, Even if I watch a movie, I don't watch movie, I watch subtitles because I want to learn something like, learn English or something else. So that's how I started work like liking movies. So yeah, there isn't a time to read a lot of books, but I'll like recent days people are like suggesting try to read books, but I'll take this as advice.
Well, I can understand totally because I believe that you are a visual person, and then everything that runs in your head is on the visual level. So more than the theory you believe in, actually seeing it done out there, and that's absolutely fine. So two things: you haven't read my book yet. That's clear.
I'll do it.
And just to have a shameless plug, my book is called UX Decoded, available on Amazon and Google and all the other platforms in Kindle and paperback versions. And second point is, Praveen, while you are enjoying movies, which one do you would you recommend that everybody should see?
I don't have a personal favorite. Like I do, like I have a genre that actually works for me. I do watch a lot of crime thrillers. So because like as I'm a designer that I want to see how peoples are actually really solving the problems, right? So like every crime thriller movies like teach you something. And like for sometimes I watch like family movies, cartoons with my daughter, and she was like she know all the songs that going on every movie. So I'll watch her with her, watch the movies with her, and crime thriller is my part of
Your
it.
genre. All
Yeah.
right. So your favorite mobile phone app that you would recommend?
Ooh, yes. That is a good question. Can I check my mobile?
It's a rapid fire. You should know that, which is the one app that you think it's absolutely amazingly designed and everybody should, see. I mean, nothing
Um,
design, but anything.
I yeah, I like Jupyter application. That is a banking app,
Uh-huh.
and I like Cred actually. The Cred was one of the amazing design that people they have designed it, and like they didn't even try and like they didn't even hesitate to try this new kind of a trends, right? Like that time the new
Absolutely.
morphism came in, and these guys like started trying and building it actually.
I
So,
think they are on the third version. From the first one to second one was a big leap, and they
yeah,
actually went into the neo brutalism
yeah.
design.
Now they have this. Yes.
And then there is a third version which is available right now. I was
Yeah.
surprised when I saw that the first one was heavy on the motion graphics. They still use
Yeah.
it. But
Mm.
second one was neo brutalism, and I never thought that a banking app which is going mainstream on the finance circuit is actually going to do that. And I was a bit shocked and surprised. But
Yeah.
I completely agree that they have broken the stereotype there that certain apps should look and behave certain way. They try to be in the finance domain but on the fun side as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next one, so are you a go out or a stay in person?
I'm actually both. So, like, let's say if I was in weekdays, I want to go out. If that is a weekend, then I want to go stay in. So that's like both I would do. But most of my mind is obviously tell me to go out
Mhm.
because like want to explore a lot, and like I would love to travel a lot with my car. So yeah, maybe I'm a go out person.
All right. So when it comes to traveling, I'm looking forward to hanging out once again with you in the days to come. So your favorite holiday destination?
Like I haven't gone through a lot of places, but I want to go back to Munnar that I went with my wife. That was my first visit to outside the world. So I want to go back to Munnar from Kerala.
Nice one. And I think it you in this southern part of the India, there are plenty of places to go and actually visit. And I think you visit a lot of areas like Coimbatore and Ooty and as well in the surrounding states. You guys went to Kanyakumari and I saw the pictures. I loved it. I would definitely would try and plan something out for the southern states because it has been quite some time that I have been around on a holiday. I'm planning something soon, and I hope that I get to visit there. But with
Welcome always.
I'm going to put these cards down. And coming back to one question that you were saying that as a designer, you were a different person while you were doing it yourself. And then you have a team, and then you think that your skills, your approach to design, and the vision of it has changed dramatically.
Mm.
So, with that, you've also started with your own mentorship courses that you're offering.
Yeah.
So, how difficult was it to actually go from, deciding that I do want to be a mentor and here is the curriculum that I'm going to decide and teach? What are the gaps that you're trying to bridge?
So actually, there is like I'm not quitting designing. Actually, like I'm not even like even I do lead and manage. I won't exit design because still I want to be a practitioner. Because if I don't practice design like on day to day, my head will explode. So something like that. So, but teaching is something that I want to do. Outside this industry because I've been through this path like where I got a lot of struggles. So recent days, like I've seen people that actually go and take a lot of initiatives and learn, on online platforms. And sometimes like they do have a lot of UX courses and all kind of courses, but they don't teach how to design a quality design, right? So that is a gap and bridge that I want to cover here. Like I want to tell them like this is the path you want to do a quality design because quality design matters and people struggle doing quality designs. Actually, like you can just count it with the their fingers, like people who do a lot of good visual designs in India actually.
They're just very minor things that actually differentiate between a bad design, a good design, or a great
Yes.
design. I think that those are the differentiators that everybody wants to have. And it's very hard to actually explain what a clean design is. People understand that, probably I'm liking this and I have no idea why. I'm just in love with this particular design or colors or the spacing and the margins and all that. But it's something that is a coachable skill. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, it is because like what I've been through was like practice and consistency is what you can be a good designer actually. So looking at a lot of references, going through a lot of different websites and applications, you can count my phone that it's more than 100 plus applications that I have it in my phone. uh, I go through all download all the applications and go through every screen by screen that how these things are working and how these designers did this project. And nowadays I think you can get a lot of screens from some other websites. They also like put all the screens of your application and you can just visit it. So but now things are like very become easy, but when I started that was very harder. So now that is the thing that I want to tell them, that do practice, do a consistent job, like keep iterating. That's what I want to do.
So recently, Figma made a lot of changes in their application. They came up with variables first, and then
Yeah.
now they have the multilingual support and all the data sets which are coming in and the AI is coming in. So what do you think of that? I mean, I've seen some of the experimentations that were done. Do you think that we are headed in the right direction?
Obviously, yes, actually. So like when they started this auto layout as a feature, right? So initially I didn't realize that that is a good feature then, because like we started using wrong actually, because they have made it in a different format and we understood different. As we means like me, so I understood different, and then I started hating those auto layout because like I have to adjust everything, like otherwise like I can go and simply move this thing. So then I started realizing, okay, this is actually solving my problem. Then I started adapting those kind of new features, and now this config 23 was like absolute a big event that every designer was in dreams actually. So that the variables like taught me like a lot of good changes in this design field, because like you can think differently with this kind of a feature, and you can think of different interactions, so you can just do a lot of experimentation and give your client some insights like, okay, this is what we are doing, and they are like, we were experimenting this with variables and this prototype, and one of our client like we are right now working was like, wow, these guys, like you guys are doing amazing job, and they was like impressive job that you guys did.
I think
And
there are two things which I personally am very interested in. One is the theming part, that light and dark, but you can actually create another theme if you want to have in the middle. So
that is
the
true,
color
yeah.
options that people ask for, it's already there. Second is the language, the multilingual app support that you can actually design. I mean, we are doing some work for one of the clients, and they wanted to see that how it will work out when we are putting in some German text or some Korean text, how it is going to translate. And I think having that built-in functionality with the variables, this is going to be a game changer in itself.
Yeah, obviously, like because like now Figma also like entering into AI, and that demo was the demo got me because like people was afraid that AI will take your job, but now these guys are doing in the design tool, and I like that was really actually interesting, and that's where I realized okay, this because AI was there like a long time back, but now this got boom now. So yeah, like now AI is the future, and we have to adapt it actually.
So do you think that it is going to be a threat for the industry, the creative industry, with the generative AI tools which are available out there? Do you think it is on the benefit side, or it is going to, make you amend the ways you're designing?
No, there is a positive and a negative because like let's talk example of a car company, right? Like people are started building cars and still people using human power to build the car, right? There is a machines, but people are operating those machines. So that's how I see this industry because like even there is a AI, there is still a lot of possibility that the industry needs humans help, and like it won't take my job or like it won't take your job. So that obviously that I is what I understand, and like the way that you operate is gonna change because visual skills that without your input that AI can't do anything, right?
So AI is not going to take your job, but people who know how to use AI are the ones who are going to take your
To
job.
take your job. Yes, that
And
is correct.
that is precisely the international agreement is generally these days. But from a creative side, I believe it is amazing. I mean, we are recently, I think the graphic design team is using Photoshop extensively by fixing those images. And I was on a call and somebody was giving a demo, and then they said, wait a sec, this is the same image, isn't it? I mean, the same people. And then somebody from the graphic team responded, oh, we used AI for this. And seriously? And I mean, the clients get surprised to learn that we are actually using the tech for the future, and the
Yeah.
adoption rate, the way it has actually gone. I think it is not just amazing, but this is incredible, the rate at which the world is adopting to. And I hope that the trend stays and people get more into design by the lucrative awareness of these tools. Now, one thing which happened like many years ago, which was when Flash had introduced action scripting.
Hmm.
So there was the first part, which came with Macromedia.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was pretty simple thing to do and operate. So linking the CBTs, the computer-based tutorials, and the Flash disks used to come in the education centers was designers were able to actually do that. And then with time, they actually introduced something called Action Scripting 2.0 when it went to Adobe from Macromedia. And
Hmm.
suddenly it had its own JavaScript-based programming language. And that language was a bit difficult for all the designers to understand. And then there were specialist requirements in the market for
Hmm.
people who are action script developers. And then came Flex, which was again another programming language. But they were all derivatives of what you can do with the Flash player and Flash itself. Now, in this time, the changes that we have seen coming to Figma, it requires a bit of a coding that they have introduced that you can actually, while prototyping, you are adding those logics. And even
Hmm.
while we are creating those variables, we are creating tables and data sets to make sure that it is normalized and stuff. So do you think that there could be a little higher learning curve for designers, or there could be specialist requirements for people who can just do this sort of prototyping and interactive jobs using Figma?
Obviously, yeah. Actually, like to understand this now current update of Figma prototype, you obviously need at least some basic skill of coding, like at least a mathematical operation, like how things are working. Like those mathematical operation is right now they are doing it, but as a like when you are a designer, you obviously should know about how engineering works because like it's not your job that once you design that is not going to end your job not going to end that time. you are building the design and then you are going to develop it. Then only you'll get the feeling of satisfaction once the product is out, right? So you obviously should understand how they are working. So that is the thing that now we are getting towards, like this kind of functionality in the prototype. So yeah, like I think it's a good thing to learn, right? If you are updating your skills, that is for you, and obviously it is going to end up in some place that you're obviously going to use that skill. So yeah.
It's the world which is changing. I mean, everything is gets updated. But that is where I would ask you, what is the one advice you want to give to people who are starting out their careers and they want to be the designers that, they have been inspired from their childhood, they wanted to be a designer, and now they are in the boat where they look up to portfolios like yours and feel that one day I want to be that designer. What would be your recommendation and advice?
My recommendation is be consistent. That's what one thing I keep telling myself and to others also, because if you lose your consistency, then there's no point of doing it. Even if you're like, for example, you wake up early and then you do your routines, right? That just comes in like a normal. You won't keep, you won't forget it. So that's how I see it, like whatever job you do. So when you start your career, like doing reference, like collecting reference and looking at them and people that who are already in the industries, higher places, so that is also going to work out for you. But don't look at the people who are who are doing trending designs, because trend always change. But follow people that who work on like consistent designs, like enterprise designing, real product designing. So follow them and learn out of them. So that's how you can be a good designer. Following trends will lead you to a different perspective, and yeah, that's what I want to tell.
Thank you, Praveen, for that wonderful piece of advice. People who want to get in touch, Praveen is available on LinkedIn, where he also promotes his course that he teaches personally. And also, you guys can look at his portfolio on Dribble, and anything that you look at our website, which is galaxyux.studio, is led and done by Praveen. So, well, mostly. And you can check out our studio's portfolio, which is obviously moderated and led by Praveen as well. So having a designer of this caliber not just puts us in confidence, but as a designer in the career field, it always inspires to have those people in your contact list and making sure that you can rely on them. So thank you so much, Praveen, once again for agreeing to join me on this podcast.
Thank you, Dushin, and it was a pleasure actually. That when you said that let's do a podcast, then I was like, what am I going to talk there? Like, uh, yeah, that now I can understand. Like, because when you in front of some stage, then you lose all your fears. So that's how I see this. And thanks for this great opportunity. And thank you.
You were amazing, and we definitely learned a lot. So keep
Yeah.
it consistent. Make sure that you're practicing it every day. You have to learn from consistent people rather than just the trend or fads which come and go. And there is a lot to learn for even every single designer, every single release which is coming out from the tool sets that we are actually looking out there. And yes, make sure that your portfolio remains consistent. So thank you, Praveen, everybody for joining in this conversation. And I'll see you guys next time with another new episode of the podcast. So with that, I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you.